Hello everybody, today we're going to be talking about the water-soluble vitamins, so part 2 of our vitamin videos. So remember, the first type of vitamin was the fat-soluble vitamin, and the fat-soluble vitamins were stored in the body if your body gets extra during the day. So if you need some another day, you'd be able to use them. Well, the water-soluble vitamins are not stored in the body. So if you take in too much during the day, your body's just going to get rid of the extra as waste. So you're literally flushing those extra vitamins down the toilet. Alright, so the water-soluble vitamins include the B vitamins. And so the B vitamins are thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, B6, folate, B12, pantothenic acid, biotin, and so those are all B vitamins. They also have numbers along with them. So we're going to talk about each one of them briefly here. So the first B vitamin is thiamine, and that is actually B1. And the benefits of thiamine is it helps break down carbohydrates for energy. It also will help keep your brain and your nerves and your muscles functioning the way they should, and so keeping some very major systems in the body very healthy. If you get too little, it can cause mental confusion and leg cramps. People with diabetes often have a low level of thiamine, so they really have to watch to make sure that they keep up with getting enough thiamine. An untreated deficiency, so a long-term time period of getting too little thiamine, can cause a severe condition called beriberi, and that is a disease of the nervous system. So symptoms include numbness of the feet, cramping in the legs, and then the next stage is leg stiffness. Prolonged deficiency can result in paralysis, and it can actually be potentially fatal because it can cause disturbances of the heart. If you get too much thiamine, symptoms are unknown. So again, your body gets rid of extra, so it's not something that you typically have to worry too much about. Sources of thiamine is in pork. Pork is actually the richest source of thiamine. That's going to be your best source to get thiamine. Of course, liver pops up again. Lots of vitamins and minerals that you'll see in liver. Oysters, and then enriched bread. So again, keeping the whole grains in the breads and in those grains will keep more of the thiamine as one of the many vitamins that once it's refined down, you lose. The next B vitamin is riboflavin. And riboflavin helps break down carbohydrates and fat and protein for energy. So all of those important things that you need to be able to have energy in the body, riboflavin has a role in breaking it down so you can actually use it. It also has a role in proper growth and development. If you get too little, your lips can start to crack, and your eyes can become more sensitive to light. And riboflavin is actually B2. If you get too much, again, symptoms are unknown, so your body is good at getting rid of the extra. Sources: milk and cheese. You can also find it again in liver. It's in eggs and in enriched breads as well. Now, you do have to be careful with how you prepare your foods because you lose twice as much riboflavin when you boil your foods versus other methods of preparing your foods. Another group that needs to be careful to make sure that they are getting enough riboflavin is vegans, because you have a lot of sources that are animal product related. The next B vitamin is niacin, and niacin is actually B3. Benefits of niacin: it helps break down your food, again, for energy, so the carbs, fat, and protein. It's needed for a healthy nervous system, and it helps with digestion. Too little can cause mental confusion, so it just doesn't seem like your brain is working the way it should. You're just not focusing. Diarrhea and sore, cracked skin. Too little can cause a symptom also called pellagra, and that's the first symptoms are skin lesions and digestive problems. Although once it becomes untreated, it can result in mental disorders and death. Usually it only occurs though in a very limited diet, so as long as you're having a varied diet, you should be fine. Too much niacin can cause ulcers, which are sores in the lining of the stomach. It can also increase the levels of blood sugar that you have. Although excess niacin from foods has not really had many reported problems, so it could be more of getting too much when you're taking supplements. Protein-rich foods contribute to much of our niacin in the day, so things like liver or fish, poultry are all good sources of niacin. And then you can also find it in enriched breads that is added to bread, again, which is important because it helps to break down carbohydrates that would be in the bread, so you can use it for energy. The next B vitamin is folate, and folate is also known as folic acid. Folic acid is actually the man-made version of folate. It prevents the nervous system birth defects, so it's really important for pregnant women to make sure that they get enough folate. And they are going to be found in all prenatal vitamins to make sure that it can protect babies from that nervous system birth defects. It also helps with the formation of your red blood cells, and it helps break down protein for energy. If you get too little, it can cause sores in the mouth. It can also change the color of your skin and your hair and your nails. And then, like I said, with babies, it can cause nervous system birth defects, which is actually called spina bifida. Spina bifida is a spinal column when the spinal column doesn't completely close during the first month of pregnancy, and it can cause nerve and spinal damage if left untreated. If you get too much, usually sources of folate in food are not harmful, but again, you would want to make sure that you are watching how many supplements you're taking, because that can increase your risk of some types of cancers. Sources of folate is asparagus, avocados, enriched breads, green leafy vegetables, and orange juice are all good sources. Now, when you're talking about supplements, if you're looking at getting too much of most of the vitamins and minerals, it would definitely be taking large amounts of supplements. Typically, you can get extra of the from what you get from supplements and still be in a safe range. But if you take very large amounts of supplements, that's where you could get into some trouble with having too much. And remember, with water-soluble vitamins, like the B vitamins, your body's going to get rid of the extras. So you'd have to be taking very high amounts to be able to see those problems. The next B vitamin is biotin. And biotin helps to store energy in the body. It also helps break down energy and then use it and stores it. Biotin is actually B7, and if you get too little, it can cause hair loss. It can cause you to develop rashes on your skin. It can cause your nails to become more brittle and break more easily, your fingernails, your toenails. But the good news is it is rare in the United States to have too little biotin. And that's because it is in most foods. Too much biotin has not been shown to be harmful. Again, it's something that your body tries to flush out, so you don't have to worry about. Sources, you can find it in eggs, in fruit. Liver, again, pops up, a good source of a lot of vitamins and minerals. Pork, salmon, It's added to bread, again, to help break down those carbohydrates for energy. And then the next B vitamin is pantothenic acid. Pantothenic acid is actually B5. And the benefits is it helps with hormone production. It also helps with blood cell formation, and it helps the nervous system function properly. And then it helps, again, with breaking down energy. That's very common. What ties the B vitamins together is helping break down your food for energy, and pantothenic acid has a role in breaking down fat for energy. If you get too little, it can cause headaches. It can also cause irritability, sleeping problems, so it's harder to fall asleep, maybe harder to stay asleep or be able to sleep. It can cause heartburn and nausea. But again, good news is it's rare in the United States because it is in a lot of foods. If you get too much, it can cause upset stomachs, and it can cause you to have diarrhea. Now, it is in a lot of foods, so just a few of the sources, and we're kind of just touching on just a few of the sources for all of them. But some sources of pantothenic acid would be beans and peas. Broccoli is a very good source. Eggs, milk, poultry, so your chicken, turkey. It's also present in seafood, so if you like fish and shellfish. Yogurt is another good source. All right, so besides the B vitamins, the other water-soluble vitamin is vitamin C. And vitamin C helps build up the immune system. A lot of times during cold and flu season, you'll see that vitamin C supplements are being promoted. So that would be things like Emergency or some of those other supplements. And they tend to have a very high level of vitamin C in them. It also helps build and maintain your bones, the connective tissue that is helped form by vitamin C. It keeps your blood vessels strong, and it helps your body heal wounds. And so those connective tissues are actually collagen. Collagen is used, it's like the cementing material that holds the body together. Vitamin C is also known as ascorbic acid. And so you may see that in some labels as well. If you get too little, it can cause weight loss, and that's not a healthy weight loss, so it's something that you have to be careful of. It also can cause weakness and loss of appetite, so you just don't feel like eating. A prolonged deficiency may result in scurvy, which the symptoms of scurvy include things like weakness, bleeding gums, tooth loss. It can actually cause internal bleeding as well. Too much can cause diarrhea. It can also build up and cause kidney stones. And kidney stones can be very painful to pass through the digestive system or through the urinary tract. If you continually get too much vitamin C, your body can also adjust and think that you need more. So if you get a normal amount, your body is thinking that you're in a deficiency, that you're not getting enough. Vitamin C is actually in all fruits. Citrus fruits are one of the biggest ones that you tend to associate with vitamin C. Your orange juice, oranges are going to have 100% of the vitamin C you need for a day in that glass of juice. Broccoli is a very good source of vitamin C, strawberries, cantaloupes. And so there are a lot of really healthy foods that you're going to get vitamin C from. Typically juices, when you look at the store, they're going to promote that they give you 100% of vitamin C that you need for the day, especially juices that are 100% juice. And that wraps up our water-soluble vitamins. So again, if you have any questions, please let me know, and we'll talk to you guys all later.